We do things like songs that are a little, what we call sexy. You can see from the title, it's more of a love album.
All right. All right. All right. Welcome to another week of Manversations 2020. Thank you guys for joining with us. Tonight we have a special show for you guys. We wanted to do hot topics tonight. There's been a lot of things going on in the media. Some of it is very important. As you guys know, we are a platform that we normally like to address the elephant in the room. A lot of people are scared to talk about certain issues. They don't want to be banned. They don't want to be ostracized. They don't want to rub anybody the wrong way. So they try to stay away from topics. But a lot of times these topics need to be talked about. We can't run away from the problem. We have to face it and make sure that we're given tangible solutions in order to navigate through this system. As you guys already know, this world isn't built in our favor. So as Black people, especially, we have to make sure that we're giving credible and sufficient information, not only for us to manage and maneuver through it without getting caught up in the traps, but also for you to be educated enough to pass that down to your children and protect them in a way to navigate through life so that they don't get caught up in the traps. This is how you build, this is how you break generational curses, because when we rely too much on ignorance, our ignorance gets passed down to our children, and that ignorance ends up putting them in a bad situation. And majority of the times, even yourself, you growing up, you might have had some ignorant people around you that might have put you in a bad situation. And whenever you get put in a bad situation, you have to crawl up out of that hole. So it's like you're throwing yourself in a hole and then you have to crawl up out of it. And you create a lot of energy. You create a lot of wasted time, because that energy and that time that you're being held down in a hole or being thrown in a hole or being dropped in that hole could have been energy that you could have used to climb ladders instead of climbing out of a hole. So we want to make sure that, you know, you guys are getting the proper education and information that can help you. We don't claim like we know it all. We don't know it all, but at the same time, we just give valuable information that a lot of people do agree with and never thought about it in that perspective. So tonight we want to touch some topics that might be a little controversial. So we will give a trigger warning for anybody out there that feels in a way that these topics might be a little too sensitive for you. So again, we just want to apply that trigger warning to you, and just, you know, be more open-minded and more welcoming to the conversation in itself versus just being triggered by the words or the visuals of what you see. All right. With that being said, I'll pass it over to my fellas. Let them know how you doing, what y'all been up to. Let the family know what's good. How was the Thanksgiving weekend?
Man, I'm stuffed, man. I can't eat no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, whew, it was serious. 49ers lit something up on Thanksgiving night, man. Boy, they smacked us all over the place. They beat the hell out the Seahawks. So, you know, when I get a good 49er win like that, and I get to wear the apparel, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we live going into we got to smack Philly up next week. You know, I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling great, outstanding, everything wonderful. The family's good. How was y'all's holiday, man?
Well, I didn't have the same success you did. My quarterback caught an injury, so good old Joe Burrow, unfortunately, is going to be on the shelf the rest of the season. So sorry about my Bengals. However, my fantasy team is putting boots up ass cheeks for the second week in a row against the number one in the league. So I'll take that W. Amen. And everything else is good. I don't really do the Thanksgiving thing as much. I believe in Turkey Day.
There you go.
I give thanks every day. I believe in Turkey Day, a day full of food and house hopping and swiping plates, with mac and cheese and, you know, salad and the dressing and the yams.
Yeah.
And of course, you can't forget the centerpiece, the gorgeous, beautiful bird, the turkey. But yeah, it was great. It was great having the extra time off. Had some nice morning me time, which I'm not used to always having, because the grind is the grind. So it was pretty good. Some good vibes to roll into the next week with and everything. So I'm with it. Let's go. Recharged and regenerated.
Yay.
That's what's up. I'm just glad that you brothers are back here safe another week, along with our Manversations 2020 family. Hopefully you guys are back again this week. We didn't lose any members or any of you guys lost any family members over the holidays. One thing that we do here is we want to make sure that the family is protected and stay in a protective type of atmosphere as well as mindset. So we always tell you every time we go into the holidays to be safe, watch your surroundings, protect yourself and your family. That's our number one thing here. We just want to make sure that you guys are protecting yourself and your family, because we're not around you 24/7 to do it. But if we give you the tools and we give you the inspiration and we give you the heads up, then you can go out there and do it for yourself. And that's all we ask for. So thank you for the family for being back with us again and being safe, especially during the holidays where it's getting kind of crazy. All right. So with that being said, we're definitely going to get into some good topics tonight. So one of them that came out, I don't know if you guys seen this, right? So it was a picture. This meme went viral, right? It's a man who actually went viral after talking about his date, right? And he posted the actual receipt of the date, right? It says man goes viral after he spent over $2,000 on his first date with his new boo. When you look at it, it's $2,167. They had a bunch of stuff, man. Purebred steak and it's just all type of stuff they had on there. For two people. I know, Major, you talk about first dates and how much you should spend. But I did go on, I did a little research and I did find, I think I went on the girl's page, if I'm not mistaken. This is the girl's page. And I found this out. It says our first date. So that was the picture they posted. That was the and that was the picture that was added on. I just wanted to put that out there, right? So I'll leave it up to Major talking about how much money should you spend on the first date. But if you are getting the blessing rewards that you seek on the first date, is the $2,000 worth it?
Shit. No. Hell no. Nah, bro. You dig? Like, hell no. There's no such thing as a date worth $2,000 from where I sit, bro. Like, that shit don't even make no damn sense. You know what I'm saying? If it's your wife and it's your 20-year anniversary and y'all going to the Super Bowl, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But like, bro, that's a ridiculous amount of money to spend on a date. And dude, this is this really gets to me out of all of us more than anybody else, because my thing is this: I'm all about vetting. I was talking to a brother who put up something. He posted something earlier this week on his page, and he was talking about how he went out with a girl and he took her to church. He said every chick that he takes that goes to church with him, they either get up in the middle of service and leave or cuss him out. Nigga, why are you taking women anywhere that would get up in the middle of what's going on and leave and or cuss you out, especially if you're taking them to church? What type of vetting process are you going through talking to this woman? How are you qualifying that she even deserves a date? You think that just don't make no sense to me. And
so hold on. So I'm trying to get this right. So he takes the girls to church as a first date?
He's taking more than one woman to church as a first date, yes.
Okay, so devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
Is this a good way to basically show that these women have demons?
Maybe.
Can they be irritated enough in church? Because remember, what is the number one key that a lot of women always talk about that they want from a man?
For him to be godly.
God-fearing men.
I get that. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I wanted to put that point out there. No, you go ahead.
No, I totally get that. But what I'm saying is this, on a very simple level, if you are properly vetting women before even asking them to go on a date. I cannot stress this enough when I'm talking to guys. I know this because I've been there a few times. You understand? You want to avoid being in the chair across from some yuck mouth that don't deserve your goddamn time, bro. You don't want that. Because I'm telling you, I've been there where a woman is sitting across the table from me and I'm taking her out in good faith, trying to get to know her, trying to, do something nice. And I mean, this woman is just downright being volatile and disrespectful. You dig? And it puts you in a real messed up predicament, especially if you're somebody like me. I don't take confrontation lightly, you know what I'm saying? Like from anybody. So you don't want to put yourself in that position. It's dangerous. It's literally dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And, it don't make no sense how some women or, people, if you're a woman, same thing. You should be vetting people before you go out in public with them. Have some phone conversations, feel them out, make sure this person is of sound mind and body, because those people are crazy. Who gets up in the middle of a church service and walks out? and or cusses you out for bringing them to church?
I just maybe you thought that was a good idea the first time around, but look, I don't know what his philosophy is, but if that's around my church home, you ain't gonna be embarrassing me around these people. I gotta see these people. You leave, you done. You might never see them again. I gotta see these people later on. Like, who was that? Like,
it happened more than once.
I don't know. Some homeless person I brought him with me. Like, I'm a lot. I'm a lot. I'm gonna tell a bald-headed, no edge having lie. Right? You ain't not gonna shame me in front of these people. Nah,
it's
just
crazy.
lining up for the. I don't know. I couldn't. I wouldn't do it. That's
insane.
That's a little too intimate right there. I mean, if he's ultimately, and the thing is, I don't want to say there's necessarily a standard across the board for that, but ultimately, as my grandfather would say, every man knows the pint of his own boots. So, for me, that's a hell no. That's absolutely not. Maybe later on down the line, that might be something that we do once we've reached a level where, okay, we're trying to dig a little deeper, see you in a bit more environments, whatever. But off the top, hell no. But if for him, that's allowing him to suss out what he needs to see, then it's fine. I mean, again, I'm not going to put myself out there to look like Boo Boo the Fool, but they did show their whole entire ass and basically dismiss themselves. So if that's what he was looking to suss out, I guess he won. I guess it works. I wouldn't take that route, but it works for him. Crazy. So that's the nature of the beast.
I think Kaz makes a great point.
That's it right there.
We have to look at the whole thing family, right there. Right? It's an extended family. So if you're bringing somebody unknown to your extended family, they're going to look at you like, okay, this guy doesn't have any type of decency to basically show and introduce us to somebody substantial, especially when you have normally church folks, pretty much married folks in there. They're more on stability. So they're seeing you interchanging with different women. It's not a good look, like Cass said.
I know my old heads, if that happened the first time, not even on some disrespectful nosy stuff, but one of the old head bros that, I had that relationship, I know he'll pull me to the side later on. We're just going to be chopping up like, what's going on earlier with that? So I know that's how it is where I don't know what his situation is. I don't know if that's his regular church, if they just church hopping or something or whatever. I don't know. But I mean, if I was pulling it, I know I'd have someone pull me to the side like, what's up with her, man? What's going on?
Definitely. I agree. Next topic I want to talk about is this couple right here. And I think the reason why I brought this up is because Tiana Taylor and is this Iman or Iman? Or how do you say his name? Iman, right? They were a very adored couple by a lot of people. And I thought, when I heard about them breaking up, she was filing for divorce. And we always talk about how women always file for divorce. But I thought it was very, very interesting, right? that it says Tiana Taylor filed for divorce from Iman Trump, right? Claims he was emotionally and mentally abusive towards her. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because not for more for the simple fact of the divorce. We see a lot of that going on lately. But the fact that if you guys know Iman, he's actually an actor. And he's been in the show The Shy. And his character in the show is kind of in a way, he's kind of loving, but he's really low energy, because he's a guy who is raised by his mother, who has enough means, but he's still doing hood shit. Like he's trying to fit in with the hood shit.
Right.
And he's this low energy, low level drug dealer, and his girl is actually pushing him to be on some next level stuff, and he is kind of scared to get on that level. So I'm bringing that up because a lot of times when we have these actors that be playing low level and low energy characters, it actually spills over into real life. Johnny Depp is known for slapping his wife, when they went to court and stuff like that, even though they found out she was very violent. But he was also caught slapping his wife at times. And if you notice that Johnny Depp had been playing Pirates of the Caribbean for the longest. That was one of his longest repetitive roles, right? Because they had, I think it was like 5 different Pirates of the Caribbean. So in the show, he's slapping people because that's what, a lot of pirates do. They slap. They don't punch. They was really slapping mates and doing all type of violent stuff, right? And I thought that was kind of crazy. I thought that was kind of very interesting because even if you listen to Denzel Washington has a video up where he talks about he doesn't take certain roles, because he understands that roles, if you take certain roles, it plays with your psyche. Even the guy from Snowfall, remember he came out and he talked about how he had to go to counseling after playing the role of Snowfall because all the demonic ass mentality and the mindset he had to play for the role of being this low level drug dealer. Oh, wow. It fucked with him in real life. He had to get counseling. So when I saw this, I was saying to myself, like, that could be a reason for him being emotionally and mentally abusive towards his wife, because this was never something that they ever spoke about or even slipped out. And she did plenty of interviews. I think this occurred recently through his recent acting career. And I think it took a toll in the process of it. And that's just my speculation. I don't know, but I'm putting the two together. And I thought about, that's was something that came to my mind when I thought about that. And I'm gonna land my plane there, and I'll let you guys dissect that.
Well, that's some good insight right there. I actually hadn't heard about that with the brother. I think his name was Idris Damson. That's one who was the deal with Lori Harvey, right?
Yes, Idris correct.
Damson. Okay, I hadn't heard that, but I'm not surprised. A lot of people don't understand what all really goes into real proper acting. Even like those B-list and C and D-list type movies as well, but especially with those big ones, those roles, those major dramas, that calls for a lot of work. It's not just showing up, just getting into character and just dropping lines, but serious actors, like, they really like study the lives of these characters that they're in. A perfect example, and I think when it really became more common knowledge, was when Heath Ledger ended up committing suicide after his role as the Joker. And he talked about, especially those who are on that method acting vibe, which basically calls for you to literally not just to take in the role, but literally become the character. So really, you're almost carving out a whole split personality of yourself. You're going over these roles. You try to get to the point where it's not just you reading the roles. Oh, wow. Stop. Don't come any closer. But you're really getting in that mindset. So all the emotions, the character is taken on. If this is a very angry character, this is a very depressed character, a sad character, a very happy character, whatever. You know, I've actually read reports, especially when Heath passed, um, about how he would spend time actually in asylums talking to patients, talking to psychologists, trying to get a better understanding of what are these symptoms, and really taking these things on. And like anything else, be careful of faking it till you make it, because sometimes, for better or for worse, you can fake yourself right into really being this situation. You can really fall for your own hype. So I can see that happening. Um, I've been somewhat following the whole thing with Iman and Tiana, but not super closely. So I don't know all the different sources, what all the different voices are saying. But what I understood, and maybe that's changed, but I think the abusive and the allegations are a bit more of secondhand narration. What I heard the issue was that he wasn't very supportive towards Tiana. They were trying to point towards maybe he was professionally jealous of her, that she was more successful or had recurring success even after he left the NBA. She's always out there, always on stage, and that could be a case. Whether that led to him necessarily being abusive in terms of maybe belittling, I don't know. Maybe he just, wasn't supportive. Maybe he, if this is true again, because these allegations, maybe he just wasn't encouraging. Maybe he said things to kind of make her second guess herself, or he just flat out told her, "No, you're not doing this," or "I don't want you doing this," or whatever. Whatever the case may be, I don't know. But you have to be mindful of situations like that where sometimes the issue is just lack of support.
Yeah.
Regardless of who it is, whether it's the man relationship or the woman or the other person, whoever it is, that has a certain level of success, sometimes that can bring its own insecurities and own demons. And just because you yourself are successful, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be okay with other people shining around you if that's the case. You have friends and family and sometimes who are doing really well. And they're cool with helping you out. They're cool with looking out for you, give you an encouraging word so long as you're there. But the minute you come close to where they're at, it's like, okay, hold on now. Easy, little fella. Easy, little chica. You got too much dip on your chip. Now you need to fall back some. You're doing too much. So some want to see you doing good, but just not better than them. So that could also be a real case. What I will say about how this is played out, though, is I do give credit for Tiana, because Lord knows we've been seeing the wrong way. Lord knows we have. But thus far, this has not been a messy separation. Like, basically, this happened a long time ago. This is news to y'all. And as I understand it, the only reason she even said anything is because other people who kind of had, who were kind of close to them, were doing what they do, twerking their gums, clacking their teeth, talking all kind of nonsense. And she's like, all right, let me clear the air since this is being put out there and people won't leave it alone. Let me kind of set a couple things straight. But she's been very respectful. I haven't heard anything from Iman about the situation. She's been very respectful. There hasn't been any necessarily, dogging him out. There's no orange sofa chat or any kind of nonsense like that going on. No tell-all books or what have you. But, these are two people who are public figures and who, for the most part, are trying to handle their real-life relationship in a private citizen way. And I respect that. If she was being attacked or assaulted or whatever, that's not necessarily something that she should have to stay silent on out of respect for him. But if this is ultimately a case of two people who just no longer were on the same path and you've done everything you could and you decided, we got to split, let's do this amicably for ourselves, for the children. We don't need the extra drama or whatever. Big kudos to that. Everything doesn't have to be a goddamn public announcement. Jesus, keep some things private, if not for appearances, but most importantly for yourself. You open that door, again, we've seen that with other couples. I'm not going to drop any names in that. We all know who those could be. But when you open the door to other people to your relationship, you can't close that door back. It becomes up for public consumption. And so you got to take all the good comments, the negative comments, the in between. You got to eat all that, because who gave them that footing in the first place? You did.
Yeah.
So, and that's hard to do in the public life. I wouldn't wish that anybody. Fame is a nasty thing. Sometimes it's a necessary evil depending on what your gift, your talent is. But, as much as possible, take a page out of those major A-list celebrities. You never see the Antonio Banderases, the Denzel Washingtons, the whatever other A-list actors you could think of, the Matt Damons, whatever. You rarely see them out in the limelight like that unless something big happens. When they go out there, they're there to promote the little project, promote the little charity or cause that they're behind, and then that's it. Because the media is nasty. The court of public opinion it's nasty. It's a monster. Go about things the smart way. Handle your business by yourselves and sort that out between the two of you, especially if you have children in the mix. So hats off to Tiana and to Iman for how they're handling the situation.
For sure. Definitely. You got something on that, Major?
Yeah, I didn't really care for it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't care for it at all. Like, I have, as you know, with me, I'm really, I really have a very strong aversion to anybody that trashes their significant other in any capacity. And like, you know what I'm saying? You putting out there that this person is a narcissist and this person is this and this person is that. That's not anybody's business. You know what I'm saying? And you should shut up and keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Period. It didn't have to get out there. You leaked it or whatever the case may be. You started talking to people. And that's how, it entered the fray into the public discourse now. So I think that he's been pretty, responsible and pretty, mature about the way that he's handled their split up. I haven't heard anything from him, but every other day I seem to be hearing a little more of a trickle of something that she said or something that she let come out or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to speculate because, it's just kind of cliche, whenever a man and a woman break up, it's always the man who gets blamed. You know what I'm saying? It's always the man who gets blamed. And, oh, you are this and you are that. With Corey Hardrick, for instance, you have people out here just barbecuing this man. They was lighting his ass up. And the woman already said he didn't do anything. It's just me. Yeah. I'm not happy. And people were still dragging him. I had this argument with this one bird on my page. Like, she was just making up shit out of thin air. Well, he probably did cheat. No, she said he didn't cheat. Well, he probably was emotionally abusive. And he probably was. You're just making up shit because you literally want the man to be wrong. And you want there to be something that he did that was disrespectful or fucked up to this woman. And a lot of times that's just not what happens. And we all know, unfortunately, the issue that we have with a lot of women and accountability. They just don't like to be accountable for anything. They'll make up, a lot of them will make up excuses and say everything else in the world went wrong, except for I did this wrong and I could have done better. You will almost never hear that. So correct. I'm not going to side with, what she's saying or, give any credence to it because I don't know. And I was glad to not know. I'm disappointed that she came out and started flapping her lips. You know what I'm saying? The talk, if you want to be real, the talk, what everybody's saying is that, there's a situation with her sexuality. You know what I'm saying? That she ain't all the way, straight or whatever the case may be. And that's what the cause was. That's what most people are saying. And I know some people who know celebrities who, they're pretty much saying the same thing. Now, that's more believable to me because I be seeing her all up on chicks, like, and I be scratching my head trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. And there's talk, nothing confirmed, you know what I'm saying? But there's talks of them having little interactions with other.
Oh no, they said that they came publicly and said it.
Again,
they had that type of relationship.
Again, that's not anything that anybody needs to know. You know what I'm saying? Keep your damn business to yourself. Shout out Will and Jada. We don't need to know all your shit, man. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you need to keep in-house. Nobody needs to know about it. It just makes you look stupid and it gets real sloppy at the end of the day. So I really wish that people that are in high profile relationships would just be more private and stop being so immature with the way that they handle the information regarding their relationships. It's played, it's whack. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick before we jump on to something else, I gotta say this too, especially with what you were just saying, Major. Oh my holy God! For the last several years, I didn't realize that this was bubbling up until just now. So I gotta do a little venting, real quick, real briefly.
All right, go ahead.
For the last several years, there's been this epidemic. Social media, I'd say since at least 2015, 2016, that I've really been aware of it. But there's just been constant barrage of mainly women, a couple dudes peppered in the mix, but it's a sea of salt with some black pepper flecks in there in terms of women and men doing this. With this whole thing of using, and I've been complaining about this forever, using social media as a damn diary. Where people just feel the need to just blurt out everything, tell their truth, and tell the story to everybody. And it's like, oh my God, shut up.
No decorum, no home training.
We don't need to know that. I keep telling people, go stop being cheap. Go get a damn therapist. Talk to them. They can help. They can give you tools. They can make sense out of this. All you're doing is emotionally masturbating, and you'll get a nice big nut. And the problem is once you release, once your eyes uncross, once your eyes are focused again, now you got to clean all this mess up, because now you're gonna put everyone in your business, and now there's gonna be all the comments that you don't want to see, and there's gonna be people arguing back and forth over your comments that don't even know you, that want to act like all of a sudden they're your paid bodyguard or whatever. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I hear when this is pushed back on, as it should, I see a lot of people saying, well, let them tell their truth. Let them tell their story. They have the right to do. Look, these people, if we're honest, they couldn't give a rat's left testicle about nobody's damn story. Most of these people don't read books unless it has sex in them or pictures in them.
Yeah.
If it's cat in the hat language, they don't care about someone telling their story. You don't care about that. You want some damn entertainment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's you real. Two broke the shell out for HBO Max to get a commercial-free subscription to Hulu or Netflix. You want people to give you free drama and gossip fodder so you can talk about it all day on social media. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Because most of these people got enough sense to not put their business out there. So we don't know about how you wasn't at that conference. You said you was when your husband was at home. You don't want to put that out there. So you're not big on sharing your story, but you want other people to share theirs. Nah, this has to stop, man.
It's ridiculous.
Stop sharing your story. Keep it to yourself.
And your homegirl, she loves to do that. That's the one Major Block.
Who's my homegirl?
Major Block.
Who?
I ain't saying the name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and she does that 24/7.
Lord, I have a feeling.
Oh, one with all the bodies.
Oh man,
you talking about the one with all the bodies?
Huh?
Wait a second. Who does?
No. That's we'll talk about that off here.
Okay. What's up?
Do Moore's old black folks for letting the beast out their caves and teaching them civilization? Ooh, that's
what? That's heavy.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy.
I'd argue they didn't, because they didn't do a very good job of it, evidently. But
and teach, the Moors and people don't. We're not going to get too heavy into it, Jay, because a lot of people don't even know the Moors, right? So True. I have More Empowerment back here. This is my company, More Empowerment. People don't know what more means, right? I got books back here. You know what I'm saying? The Education of the Negro, right? The Miseducation of the Negro. Two powerful books that Black people are supposed to have. These are we talk about the Bible as the only book that you're supposed to have. These are kind of Bibles. Like these are things that you're supposed to know about, right? Do I have the Moore's book here? I don't have the Moore's book here. My Moore's books are over here. I tell people all the time, there's 2 books to get from the Moors to understand the Moors. Even when I run across Spanish people, there's Moors before Spain and Moors after Spain, and you'll get a great knowledge of the history of your ancestors, right? And understand what we did for people that don't look like us, and like you said, allowing them us in society. The Moors actually got crushed because they allowed to be too friendly with the Europeans that they were mating with. This is we're definitely going to do a show, because I know Major wanted to do a show about the interracial dating. And while the Moors were so dominant and they were taking over Spain, they were integrating and interracially creating children. This is where the Hispanic race comes from. And during that time, they were the opposition was all in their ears, telling them shit, and it broke up their code within each other of the Moorish Empire. And by them breaking them up like that, they were able to take over and run the Moors out and conquer back Spain. And that's how the fall of the dynasty of the Moors had ended. But yes, we when you talk about it, it's real heavy, real deep. I could get more into it, but we'll lose a lot of people on that. But I appreciate you.
Not on this show. I would say not on this show, because this show is the intent of this show is to be more lighthearted and to be more chill. Like we can have a deep show like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we can do it.
Definitely.
But that wasn't the lineup for this particular set.
We'll definitely have a show. We'll definitely have a show like that next year where we'll talk more about that, Jay. So anytime, like I say, you part of the fam now. You stumble across the page, our podcast. And when we have that show, we'll definitely have you come up on stage and definitely speak some stuff to it, because you seem like you are pretty. Because just whenever I see people label the word more, I already know you on a different level. I know you're not no Sambo. You're not no Coon or Sambo. I know you on a different level. So I know where your mindset at. And a lot of people aren't on that level yet. So we'll definitely have that show so we can educate people. Because I think more and more people need to understand what Moors and more empowerment really means. And that'll get my my company a little bit more recognition, because that's the reason why I established More Empowerment, to put the word out there so they can look it up and understand what it is. All right, definitely. So let's get into our next thing. We have Andre, right? So I saw this, right, and I thought this was pretty dope. It says, I'd rather see a rapper on an album cover with a flute than one with the AK any day. And then they have another one that said Lupe Fiasco becomes one of the first artists to record a song sampling Andre 3000's instrumental album New Blue Sun, which I can't wait to hear that. And I thought this was pretty dope, what this sister said.
Just look at you. A lot of y'all done tuned into that Andre 3000, to see what he had popping. And you haven't bashed a woman for a couple of days.
You say what?
Huh?
You did what with a woman? I didn't get what she said. Why she whispering?
You hadn't bashed a woman in a couple of days.
Yeah, you haven't bashed
a woman for a couple of days.
Hilarious.
All right, so like I was telling you before, like the album is a healing album, and a lot of I'm gonna break down that. I'm gonna do that video this week. I'm gonna post it on my other page on Facebook, but I'm gonna definitely break down that video. But the elements of the healing is that it taps into different frequencies, into your 5 chakras, right? And it is very important to understand it. And once you understand it, then you'll see the powers that it does affect on some people. It might not affect you like that, but there are some people that are in tune with their chakras, and they are it's enabling them to be more on a positive and healing journey. So that's why a lot of people took heed to it, and a lot of people embraced it. You know what I'm saying? So it was so dope. But like on my radio station, More Empowerment Radio Station, on Sundays I play those frequencies. Like you'll hear boom, like for 30 seconds. So that plays in between some of the songs. And I know a lot of people aren't used to that because you don't hear that on the radio. But we, like I said, what we do here is we try to open up minds, especially Andre 3000 is pretty much on the same frequency that we are on. And we just try to do something different to be very impactful and powerful in our society. So I thought that was pretty dope for a sister to say that, because I saw that as well. I saw a lot of people, a lot of men, they weren't bickering and arguing when that song, when the album dropped. You know, it turned into a different frequency. So I just wanted to bring that up and highlight that. One thing I don't understand, and maybe you guys can clarify this for me, but one thing I don't understand is why are we always running to Vlad for interviews? And shout out to Slim Thug. Shout out to Slim Thug for saying this, right? I don't know how it is Vlad telling black people news. Slim Thug goes off on DJ Vlad. We're letting a German get all the money out of us. I thought that was pretty dope. And a lot of people, you know what was so powerful about what he said? The part where he said German went over people's heads. Right?
Okay.
And just like the brother Jay, there is information out here that is powerful that people don't understand. And because you don't understand the real information out there, everything that's going on, it just doesn't resonate with you because you don't understand it. One of the most powerful things that people don't understand is that Jews and Germans are like this. If you look into the White House, a lot of Jews and Germans are in the White House. They gave you a narrative that Jewish people got thrown into the oven by Germans, right? But what they didn't tell you was that it was Jews and Germans doing it. What they didn't tell you was the narrative was for Jews and Germans to get rid of the wealthy, to start over and create the new wealth with the new versions of the new Jews. So they got rid of all the people's bloodlines. That's why they were throwing them in the oven. They were getting rid of all their bloodlines, right? And they created the new Jews, which is the ones that are out here running everything right now. They created the banking system and everything like that. So all that stuff with the Hitler and all that, there's a lot of context to it that a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people not doing the research. And when you do the research, there are so far in control that a lot of things won't get changed on a major level unless you start having enclaves of different groups. And then when you do that, you guys can come up and start your own, thing like Black Wall Street. You start your own country within a country. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You got to get outside of the realms because it's too powerful for you to infiltrate in a system to go up the pipeline. It's too dominant. So you have to go outside. You got to start being on the Centennial Island type mentality. You know what I'm saying? Go grab your piece of land, go grab your territory, sovereign the land, and do what you got to do. But I think a lot of people don't understand it. And Slim Thug, Waka Flocka, Tiger, there's certain entertainers that are very knowledgeable and they are very, very powerful. I know Slim Thug's buying up a bunch of land. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think his project of housing has started.
Affordable housing. Yeah.
Yeah, affordable housing.
Shout out Boss
Yeah.
Hog Construction. Matter of fact, shout out everything Boss Hog Outlaws and Boss Hog related. Slim has really been I'm proud of Slim in that regard. Definitely one of the
Yeah.
brothers who has consistently
Correct.
no shade to anybody that's just on the pipeline now, but for as long as I can remember knowing the name Slim Thug, dude has always been about business. You want to talk about standing on business? He's been standing on business from day one.
Yeah.
Never hear about him getting caught up in foolishness, none of the drug nonsense that a lot of other artists be getting caught up into. Always about business, always about investment, always about making money moves, always about making the next move the best move. He's been that dude consistently.
Yeah, he has.
Correct.
His resume old. So big ups to him for doing that.
Correct. Definitely. So yeah, when it's a lot of things a lot of these entertainers say that a lot of people don't understand in full context because they don't really, it's not a lot of us on that level. And this is why we're doing this show, to educate and help educate and bring up and pull up other people and highlight other people that are doing great things out here. Slim Thug is definitely one who's been doing some phenomenal things behind the scenes. And definitely got to give him his props for that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate all the love for tonight, man. I love y'all.
Big up, Kaz. Appreciate you, bro.
Definitely.
What's up? Let me,
yeah, go ahead. Touch
I was just gonna say about Slim Thug, man. Like, we need more people because I've been banging on people all week for talking shit about Slim Thug. This is what they say, and this is the thing that bugs me about black people lately. This defeatist hoe ass mentality. You know what I'm saying? Where it don't matter what you do. It's really just all on us. Man, look, the man said what he said. Well, you can't just, talk about people because they race. If he wasn't doing it, a black person be doing it. And he just, man, he ain't got all them views. Man, shut up.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. You just talking out your ass. And you just being, at the end of the day, Negroes like that, those are those defeatist Negroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't got no fight left in them.
Bootlicks and shoe shines.
Yeah, everything about them is just, they just want to crack open their booty hole and let Massa do whatever he gonna do. You understand what I'm saying? As long as they can put some gas in their car, you know what I'm saying, and go trick off some money at the strip club at the end of the week, they're cool. You understand what I'm saying? Bruh, we had to find our pants as men out here. You know what I'm saying? Somebody should have swung on Vlad a long time ago. You understand? The way this dude interviews be popping up in court, you know what I'm saying, on court documents, be getting dudes cased up, XYZ, blase, squaze. Why is he still allowed to breathe?
I've been called Vladimir the chief, the deputy chief of the hip hop police. That's him right there. That's Officer Constable Vladimir. That's who he is right there.
This dude is clearly working with them folks, man, and y'all niggas keep
and some of the questions
on his show.
What makes it really insulting is because, of course, entertainers are entertainers, but some of these entertainers are actually legit. They're by legit, I mean they have real, genuine street ties. They know, they make moves. They know certain things that's acceptable, unacceptable, and they will handle business. Not all of them, but some of them are.
Right.
And I've seen some of these dudes on this man's platform.
Yeah.
And when I hear the kind of conversations they're having, the questions that this dude is asking him,
man, it's
and
crazy.
they right there answering it. And I'm like, bruh.
See, and this is
I don't care how cool I was. If my if my black ass were to go and ask and start talking some nonsense like that, even if I had a camera or whatever, even if I had their faces blurred out, whatever, if I were to go and ask them questions, I know good and damn well I would not see my home again.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is what
next time you saw me would be in a casket if you even found my body. But this dude can sit up right here and put you on YouTube, World Star Hip Hop, the whole world. People in Nepal, if they got a strong enough Wi-Fi signal, can see and listen to what you're talking about. Like, dude,
Real
this
talk.
is crazy.
Guys are straight up confessing to murders, conspiracy, racketeering, everything in Vlad's chair, and Vlad's line of questioning is steering them in that direction. And they keep taking their stupid ass back there because he's paying them. That to answer your question, Anthony.
If he even is some of them he's not even paying. That's the crazy part. That's even crazier.
It's insane.
But it reminds me of what Jason Black said a while ago. If you want to know what a black person is thinking, don't ask them yourself. Put them in a room with a white person or the black around, and let the white person ask questions. They go tell. They'll lie to you and me. They gonna tell Vladimir Konstantinopoulos everything.
Everything.
They go spill like a watering can. Whatever it is they really think and believe, they gonna keep it 100 with him. It's crazy.
Scratching your head because these are guys, like you say, these guys are affiliated. These guys are official guys, and they're sitting here talking to this damn cornball. Why? You understand? It just don't make Billy Goat sense. Like the old timers used to say, it don't make Billy Goat sense, man. Why are you doing this to yourself and to the culture? See, I remember Tariq had spoke on this once before. Tariq Nasheed spoke on this once before, and he made a very valid point. He's talking about the fact that when you sit down with a brother, Tariq would interview people, and certain topics would come up, whatever the case may be. And Tariq would, when he sees somebody starting to go a little left, he's steering back. Oh, hey, you don't like
looking out for looking out for folks.
And that's what I'm explaining to these clowns that's on this thread talking about. Well, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. No, dumb nigga. Right. When you let outsiders into your culture, they come into your culture and infiltrate it because they don't have no real connection to you. They don't really fuck with you like that. They just want to use you to get attention on themselves. Shout out Skip Bayless. You understand what I'm saying? This is what they do. They build the platform and they invite a whole bunch of Negroes in that they know everybody want to, talk to and look at and whatever the case may be. And they ingratiate themselves by the proximity that they have to you. You understand? But they don't have no connection.
Proven strategy. Kid Rock, anybody?
Kid Rock, man, it's been done so many times it don't make no sense. And
rinse, wash, and repeat.
Niggas is in the feds right now because of a goddamn Vlad interview. They ain't in the
Snitch 9.
Yeah, exactly. They ain't in the feds for no Nori interviews. You understand what I'm saying? Or no brothers, no tax stone interviews, none of that type of stuff. It's only for some reason the interviews that come from Vlad.
Yeah.
Niggas
and that's the crazy part because if a black man does it, he'd be like, yeah, man, you trying to set me up to go to jail. But as soon as you get in front of Vlad, you don't even think about that. You just singing and doing whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to show you that
like a daddy called you in the kitchen and said, "Now I want the truth, boy. Don't maybe whoop you." Yes, sir.
Yeah. And it lets you know that a lot of them are controlled by money. Because I want to know how much money is he giving y'all to sing like that? That's crazy.
I think Boosie said something about he made $500,000 a year from Vlad. That should tell you right there if that's true. If half of that number is true, who is paying that kind of money to get niggas to come on their show and talk? That should tell you something's wrong right there.
If that ain't sus as hell,
bruh.
Yeah.
Where the hell? First and foremost, DJ Vlad. DJ what? Nigga, what projects you been on?
Real talk.
What albums you dropped?
DJ Vlad mixtape.
What sets have you done? Have you been in Ibiza touring or whatever with Dead Mouse and Calvin Harris and them? What DJ? Where's the DJ? Where's the music?
It had to be with Dead Mouse.
If anything, you a DJ of spinning niggas in the corner.
Yeah.
That's what that's the DJ. He put these niggas right on wax and just it went right in the jail cell.
Ridiculous.
Definitely.
How anyone got that kind of money tossed out for interviews? That should be the red flag already. How much you gonna pay me?
Shout out Slim Thug.
How many interviews you got? That's true. But yeah, we need more high profile brothers to be talking like that because when people just chat in the comments, it goes out the ear. But when you have that voice out there speaking like that, definitely causes some things to move and shake.
It's a big deal, man.
Definitely. I think one of the problems that we have in the dating scene is that a lot of fellas are out here doing the right thing, and a lot of women don't appreciate it. So I want to show you a video of a mindset of one woman that I think represents not all women, but majority of them.
Went on a first date, and when I opened the door, my man was at my front door, and I was like, "Oh, like right." And then he hit me with the Rico. He pulled the flowers out, and I was like, "Wow, this is different, right?" So I'm not even paying attention. I brush past this, trying to walk down the steps and get to the door, right? Because I'm not paying attention. I'm just so not used to it, and it just hasn't, like, I just didn't have a lot of practice. He opened my car door. I get inside. He closed the door. I immediately went to my group chat. It's weird.
Did you say he opened your car door?
High five.
No. Now let me explain, right? Let me explain. By the time we got to the restaurant, my follow-up text was, "Y'all, that's my bad. I just realized and all that stuff we be talking about, we don't really want it." And I felt like he technically did everything that we be saying we be wanting. In my mind, instinctively, my first thought was he corny. But
Bruh, let me tell you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
All that she just said. Bro, I could go on all day about this topic. You dig? Because you know I'm always talking about the contradictions, though. Talking out of both sides of your mouth. Flapping your dick suckers, but you ain't got no real, you ain't saying nothing. You dig? The look on Bobby's face. You dig? I'm just saying, bro, everything she just said, because I've been that guy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't bring no flowers to the door, but you know what I'm saying? I open the door, you know what I'm saying? I greet a young lady properly. I go to her door to, pick her up, walk into the car, all that type of stuff. I do that. But strangely enough, the flowers, like I say, I don't buy flowers on the first date. Why? Because, like she just said, most modern women will think that you're corny because of that. They'll think you're a sucker because of that. They'll think that you're soft because of that. But this is the same shit that they claim to want. Women got to learn how to speak with one voice, say what they mean, and mean what they say. You understand what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, when a woman does really encounter a gentleman, she don't know what the hell to do with him. Bobby Drake, that's my guy right there. He's the only one on this show that's single. And any number of women be trying to get at Bobby Drake. Me and Bobby have had this conversation before. Some of them are gazelles, some of them are wildebeest. But the gazelles, I be trying to put them in the game. I be trying to make the connection and make something happen. Or if it's even if it's not a straight gazelle, if it's kind of halfway there, I'll try. You understand what I'm saying? But another female friend of ours, which our sister, she was like, I said to her, talking about some of her friends, she was trying to make a match with Bobby, and I'm like, okay, out of all your friends who talking, because we did the show, the Dear Future Wifey show, where me and Bobby and other people were on the panel, and she kept talking about, the women, they love Bobby. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine and dandy, but out of all them women who love Bobby, which one is mentally ready for Bobby? Which one of them can even have a conversation with Bobby Drake?
Correct.
Crickets. And that was over a year ago. You understand what I'm saying? So ladies, we love y'all. We really do. But y'all got to get y'all shit together. You know what I'm saying? And y'all really got to start being the people that you say you want to attract. And understand that when a man is treating you in a respectful, kind, and decent manner, that's not an excuse for you to then in turn behave like a Neanderthal. You're supposed to also have the wherewithal to know how to interact, to a point where we're on one accord and we got a little vibe going. Okay, it's an exchange now, but you want the man to act like Barack Obama and you act like Christian Rock and you think it's going to be all gravy, bitch. It just don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really need to tighten up, ladies, because a lot of y'all, by listening to your little knucklehead friends, you shoot yourself in the foot. There's some very decent women out here who are well-meaning, and you know their heart is in a good space, or whatever the case may be. But the people that y'all roll with and the things that you allow to influence you cause you to behave like some of these hoes that's out here on social media, you know, and that will cause a decent gentleman to not take you seriously. And I'm just keeping it a buck with you. You know, a lot of y'all, instead of, you know, having these little niggas in your inbox blow your head up, you need some real decent fellas that's not trying to fuck you, they'll just give you some game and, you know, correct some of your actions, because a lot of y'all are real game goofy and you're not going to end up in a good place the way you carry yourself out here in these dating and relationship streets. And I'll land my plane.
That's 100.
I'm just saying.
I want to share some of the feedback that video generated, and that's like trying to pick fleas out of a sheep coat, because that's a lot of comments. A lot.
Yeah.
But these were some of the ones that I saw on the I believe it was on the video that when it was shared to that was shared on Instagram. So one brother said, all that nice shit a waste of time unless she likes you already. Another brother said, and this is what I resonated with. This is when I had to put the church hand, the holy hands. That's when I felt the spirit. He said, being a woman's first good man is such a horrible experience, bro.
Wow.
Anyone who's ever been in that, if you were the lucky runner-up, if you were the first dude on the scene, you recognize what the car accident was after the fact. Yeah, that's real as hell. Another dude said, man, I hate this for me. This is what my dating pool consists of. A sister responded, praise God for that. She said, this is why when the girls like me finally meet niggas like this, they don't even do this anymore.
Wow.
I'm glad a woman said it. Because when we say these things, we don't know what the hell we're talking about. All of a sudden, we like radio.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're talking about. Okay. The brother said, I really do want to be a good man. I'd love nothing more than to be that. But that's just not what women want. No matter how much they say they want good men, I go off of their actions, and their actions say otherwise. This is why I'm a flat up nigga. And for the most part, and I'll give some credit where it's due, this one had a lot of people quiet. A lot of people that would normally try and have some childish BS to come back with some deflection. A lot of it's really been quiet, bulk of what I've seen, because they're still there. You know, they can't possibly not announce their presence, the giant canker sore that they are. But most of it has just been, well, she doesn't speak for the rest of us, or I'm glad I don't think that whole nonsense or whatever.
Oh, God.
But the bulk of what I've been seeing, I'm happy to say, has pretty much been brothers pretty much confirming, like, yep, this is basically what it's been. And some sisters chime in saying, you know, I've seen this happen. It's ridiculous. I can't believe it. Or, you know, my homegirl was like this. I said, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? Or, you know, this is why I have trouble finding these kinds of men, because this is their experience. But the fact of the matter is, there are some experiences that are shared to a certain extent where, you know, a few people can say, you know, I've been through this or whatever. This right here, this is one of the few experiences I can say, at least on this side of the soil. I don't know how it goes in other parts of the world. I just know how it gets down in this section of the rock that I'm on.
Yeah.
But this is one of the few situations where damn near every man has either experienced this or knows someone, not like 2 or 3 degrees of separation, but like they know the dude. That's like the Ace Boone. They can call him up right now and talk about it. They've heard about the boy going through this. Yeah. It's literally a case where you could be standing out in a wide open field. No buildings, no boulders, no trees, nothing, just straight flat land, wide open space. You could throw a grain of sand and it's going to somehow hit everybody out there. That's how common this situation is. And a lot of dudes, unfortunately, especially if they've experienced this young, they got to make a pimp decision. So they do one of two things. They either just, suffer and just go through it. Hopefully it gets better as you go along. Maybe they age out of thinking this way and you luck upon a woman that fits the criteria. She's not a complete nutcase, or she's not someone who is completely allergic to being treated well. Or you have dudes that decide they're going to go ahead and choose the way of darkness and become the hated nigga that they that they hate to love and love to hate. They become that nigga on the dark side. And that's why when we have situations like the whole Russell Wilson and Future back and forth, hate to keep bringing it up, but it's the quintessential one. That's where it comes from. This right here. Where dudes hear you say you want this, that, and the third. When they take a look at your resume and they see who it is that's getting them cheeks, who it is that's getting your time, who it is that's writing all these stoggy status messages about, I'm sick and tired of this. I deserve better. I'm not going to let him treat me like this anymore. Only for you to be right back in his arms the next day. This is what we're talking about. The solution isn't to be mad at dudes for being honest or for exposing and talking about this. The solution is to do different, to be accountable and say, you know what? I'm the problem. It's me. It's not him, them. They're problematic, but I'm the only common thread they all have. Something is off with me. Let me put myself on the shelf, get myself together, and once I'm healthy, once I'm healed from this unresolved trauma I got, let me go ahead and get myself back in the game.
Right.
Responsible dating. That's
talk.
what we need. We need to create that culture of responsible dating, responsible daters. People who are not out here with all kind of gunshot wounds that they're trying to do their best 50 Cent impersonation. They got shot 25 times, whatever, and they're just bleeding all over everybody. It looks like a scene out of Halloween Horror Nights. We need people who are committed to presenting their best selves when they're hurt. They don't go out and unleash it on women that had nothing to do with it or men that had nothing to do with it. They take themselves away. They seek therapy, or if they're not willing to do that, they'll sit back and try to heal and get themselves, however they do it, into a right space. And then they go back out and present their best self. We need those people. We need responsible daters. We need to hashtag that. Responsible dating. Hashtag that. That's a movement. We need this.
I love it. It's true. It's absolutely true. Absolutely the truth, brother.
I totally agree. We do need that to create this healthy atmosphere so we don't get a bunch of negativity and people just being so depressed, because you go into other things depressed, you're giving off bad energy. You know what I mean? And just like this guy was going into the situation with good energy and she's giving off bad energy. Can you imagine how she actually hurt him? See, we don't talk about the stuff that women do to hurt healed men. That's why it's very important for healed men to understand that when you're approaching a woman, to know the difference between a woman that is appreciative of what you're doing versus a woman that don't know and discards you, and because she might be unhealed herself, because apparently she is unhealed. Because if you're going to turn down chivalry, if you're going to have a problem with that being weird, then you're wired different. You're wired screwed up. And, you know, a lot of girls was saying, you know, like, yo, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, a lot of women out here are asking for things that they really don't want. It's not that they don't want it. They're not in the mind space to receive it, because guess what? They do all of that fuckery when they're young, but then when they get older, what they do? They say, man, I just want somebody that's going to do this. I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready for the good guy. I'm ready for the guy that I call weird. You know what I'm saying? We see the memes all the time. Yeah. The guy was chasing her in high school. She was in her prime, looking good. She ain't want nothing to do with him. She chased the thug, and the thug got her pregnant. Now she see this guy is on top of his game. He's out here, multi-marketer, doing his thing, suit. She got all these kids and looking busted, and now she's chasing the guy she ignored the first time. And that's what a lot of a lot of this circular motion and recycled motion keeps going into effect because it's a lot of people keep rinsing and repeating the same steps. And then that's where you have a lot of dysfunctional children out here because you're making dysfunctional children while you're being dysfunctional. And just want to leave that right there. And we're definitely, go ahead.
Yeah, let me interject real quick here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just go back to this particular person real quick before you move on. This is the gift that keeps on giving. This same girl made another stupid comment. And another part of that same video went viral. She's the one who came out talking about how a dinner, you can't get to know somebody over a dinner date.
Yeah, I remember that.
Whatever the case may be. So this is just the gift that keeps on giving. This is one of those people, they just kind of open their mouth and shit just falls out. You understand what I'm saying? Like this girl, at the end of the day, this goes back to what I'm always saying about vetting. This is the type of girl, she don't deserve to be taken on no dates.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Based on the few things that I've heard from her small brain, she don't deserve to be taken on no dates by nobody. She's severely damaged. You understand? And guys need to do a better job of identifying these red flags and taking these type of chicken heads up out the paint before they get out here and start causing you damage. You know what I'm saying? Start wasting your time, start hurting you because they're so damaged that they don't know how to appreciate what you're doing. This is that pearls before swine shit. You understand what I'm saying? Guys need to really tighten up like on who they're talking to and who they're deeming valuable enough to even take out on a date. She should have never made the first date.
Correct.
Go ahead, man. I just want to add that in there.
No, definitely. I did want to get into this next subject before we get on to another stuff. This next subject that we're going into is our next topic, which is trendy weekly topics, right? So this is one of the main things we wanted to discuss tonight. As you guys know, that's in the news right now. A lot of celebrities are getting hit with lawsuits. Multiple ones are getting hit with lawsuits, right? So we want to run down. I want to run down and give you guys some of who's being hit with it. Jamie Foxx, Axl Rose, Cuban Gooding Jr. sued in a wave of sexual assault lawsuits ahead of key deadline. A New York law revived the window to bring sexual misconduct claim for 1 year. Regardless of the statute of limitation, it closed at midnight on Thursday. So they were getting all these lawsuits in. We saw the Diddy one. Diddy sued by a third woman for rape and choking. We see Jamie Foxx got accused of 2015 sexual assault in New York City rooftop lounge. This happened back in 2015. You already know Jamie Foxx been going through, the brother's been going through some health issues lately and got out of it. Now they're slapping him with a lawsuit. They're slapping Cuban Gooding Jr. They're revitalizing his because his had occurred before. I forgot what year that was. And they brought it right back up again. So Cuban Gooding Jr. sued for sexual assault, battery in 2 new lawsuits by former accusers. You also have the advocate push for more permanent legal change after 1 year window closes for new suits under the New York Adult Survivors Act. Also, we have Luke. Luke is the one that just got caught up recently in this wave. Uncle Luke steps into on-site comment section and debunks Gloria Velez claimed that he allegedly groomed her while she was a minor. He said, no, Luke, get down like that, baby. Keep your convention on your baby daddy before you get a defamation lawsuit. As you can see, what to know about New York's expiring Adult Survivors Act used to sue Donald Trump, Sean Combs, and more for sexual misconduct allegations. We also had, this is more of, no, and that's not it. This is more of it from they had a whole thread going on with Uncle Luke. Everybody around me encouraged them to be great, better. He says he's encouraged women to be great around him, be better parents, better business women, better community. I have a long list of individuals who work for me that are multimillionaires. You know, she also brought up this. She said this on her Instagram. If you don't think grooming is happening in this business, you're sadly mistaken. It started in 1996 with Luke and a few others in the business. I was in high school. They just went on. It's just a whole bunch of a list of stuff that you guys can see here. I'll put it up so you guys can come back and read it on another time. But it's all type of stuff that she was talking about. So, you know, I just want people to understand that when we're talking about survivors and we're talking about this serious situation, I'm not here to judge anybody, and I'm not here to tell people who aren't survivors and who's just making claims and things like that. The overallness of it is that they had a window. They did it for a whole year. This was started in 2022. When they realized the window was closing, now you start throwing stuff out there. You start grabbing people like the Puffy, this, that, and you're doing this to keep the window open. So a lot of people are looking at it suspect, because if you had a whole year, all of this information, you could have done this a whole year ago. Why wait to a deadline? It makes it seem like the top dogs up top was telling people like, yo, we need to get this stuff up there. Call, whoever you could call to make these accusations so we could keep this window going. And I don't think that is right for the justice of women that are really out here trying to get justice. I think a lot of times when we see stuff like this, I always tell people, whenever you see something like this, always separate the agenda away from what really is going on. So the agenda, we're seeing that they're throwing everything to the wall, hoping something sticks to create the wall. I mean, they extend the law versus real justice for the survivors, like real justice for victims. I'm all for justice for victims. You know what I'm saying? I'll let the court decide who's the victim and who's not. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to just throw things in there and throw shit to the wall to make stick. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what happened during that time when she was down there with Uncle Luke. There's plenty of women that were doing things. I know one particular that was Luke's right-hand woman, and when she saw the report, she was very frustrated because she knew that a lot of women knew what was going on, as far as if you were around during that time, it wasn't forced on you to be a part of Luke's sessions, or, you know, when I say sessions, I mean like music videos and all that stuff that was raunchy. That's what they were doing, you know what I'm saying? And people participate on it, and you participate in it, and now years later you can now condemn somebody for it. I think that was a certain issue that they had with the Bill Cosby situation, because a lot of people were saying that these women were going around with other celebrities outside of Cosby that were out there taking this choice of drug that a lot of entertainers during that time were taking, and they took it with Bill Cosby. And now that he took it with Bill Cosby, they're saying that he's the one who was forcing them to take it, or he slipped it in there and things like that. Now, they went to court and they showed everything in court, however that panned out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the women that did accuse them, remember, it was over 70 women. A lot of their testimonies were thrown out because they found out it wasn't really real. It was false. You know what I'm saying? So they don't highlight that part where a lot of those women were just there to make the 70 look like he was this vicious monster, when more than half of that got thrown out because it was falsified, right? And then another part of it is that when women come out and they falsify stuff like that, there's no repercussions that go against women for coming to court making false claims. And that's another That's another thing, another part that we don't talk about or we look at. So like I say, there's a lot of women out here that are victims to a lot of these guys who are predators. There's a lot of women out there that are predators that don't get wrapped up into this Me Too movement, because when you're looking for victims, it should not be gender biased as well. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
There's a lot of women out here that are big time predators, just as big as these men. If you look at the woman, remember there was a woman that molested R. Kelly. And that woman to this day has not been prosecuted. She has not even faced any type of allegations in a court of law. She was not being held responsible for her act of turning R. Kelly into this monster. And R. Kelly is grown. He could have changed himself. You never should let being a victim create you into a monster. You should take the time out to get the proper healing, to get the proper therapy. And the thing about it is that R. Kelly had a vast amount of money and resources to get the help that he needed. You know what I'm saying? And he should have got that instead of going around doing the damaging things that he was doing to these young individuals. So when you got this woman, imagine this woman did this to R. Kelly. How many other guys did she do this to? And there's a lot more R. Kellys out there that she created, because a lot of these guys that she did it were not famous like R. Kelly. So imagine those guys that she molested, that thought it was cool and endured that, and went and start molesting young women in the neighborhood and becoming pedophiles in the neighborhood. So she could have created and spawned a whole army of predators out here in different neighborhoods. And when you don't hold somebody like that accountable, that's a whole rampage of things that she probably to this day, even that was years ago, probably to this day still doing the molestation on young boys. And the boys do not get the same protection as girls. And that's a sad reality. I know plenty of men right now to this day who got molested, and it's hard for them to talk about it. It's hard for them to even indulge in conversations about it, because, when you say a man got molested, you take away a lot of his manhood and pride. That's how he feels. You know what I'm saying? And he got to go through life either trying to exude extra masculinity, which ends up being toxic. And then he can also put himself in a hole and not be the man that he needs to be, because he doesn't feel like he's the man walking the earth that he wants to be, and has the mindset that also I might take my life in the process, which makes men 3 times more likely to commit suicide than any other gender. And a lot of that suicide that men are committing, a lot of that probably is them being molested and feel half the man that they are. So when we see things like this, we want to make sure that we're getting to the justice, right? So I want to show the ladies that created it. Here we go. Ladies that created it was the New York Adult Survivors Act. These 2 ladies created it. They had, talked about the reason why they created it. And then she also talked about why she created it. And, these are just women that I feel like are really trying to go out here to help the women that really need justice, to really need the laws put in place to seek the justice that they need. But you have people like Oprah Winfrey that was friends with this guy, right? So you're friends with John of God, which he ended up going to jail as a faith healer. He kept teenagers as sex slaves and sold them through babies for up to $40,000 before shipping them off to Brazil. She was real cool with it. She got under fire for that, right? And a lot of people don't understand that, because abusing hundreds of women. A lot of people don't understand when it comes to Oprah, she's friends with Harvey Weinstein, friends with John of God, 2 notorious people that have been big time predators on women. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So when you look at it and you say to yourself, okay, if you're seeking justice, and remember, she got in trouble and in hot water for Never Never Land, right?
Right.
She was the one who supported the documentary of Never Never Land. And she got backlash for that because a lot of the celebrities that was around, the young boys that was around Michael Jackson, said that he never did nothing like that. So she
Right.
tried to tarnish his image in the grave, and there was multiple evidence to support that Michael Jackson wasn't no predator. So you aligned yourself up with unknowns to try to damage the image of Black men, but yet I don't see no long interview with John of God. I don't see no long interview with Harvey Weinstein. Now you had there was a guy who was talking crap. I forgot what the name of this guy was. I think his name was Josh. I don't know if he's a football player or
Josh
sports.
Giddey?
Yes. Who is he? A sports analyst?
And he's a NBA player. I believe he plays for the OKC Thunder, I think.
Yeah, he's an NBA player for the Thunder.
Let me confirm for the Thunder.
I don't know. Is he a white guy, right?
Oh, he surely
Right.
is.
Yeah. So
I think he's Australian.
Yeah, he was talking greasy about some other player, and he's out here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, allegations about messing with younger women, right? Young underage women.
Yeah. OKC Thunder.
According to the woman, he's dating a 16. I think they started dating the time she was 16. He was 18. But I think what had everything break wide open was that recently she shared pictures on her Snapchat of her at her house or somebody's house with him, and literally, got a caption on the Snap saying, "I just fucked Josh Giddey."
Wow.
Or we just. I'm like,
that's gonna leave a mark.
There's that.
Rap. It's a rap.
I don't believe it will. I don't believe it will because he has the complexion for the protection from all the introspection.
Correct.
I hear you.
Now, if that was Jamarcus Giddey, he's put that boy in the air fryer. He's done.
Yeah.
So when it's that open,
yeah.
When it's that
clear,
wanted to,
yeah. No, I just wanted to shed the light on that, and then I'll let you guys wrap this up real quick, and then we could go to the next segment. But I just wanted to shed light on that, and you guys can elaborate a little bit more of what you guys are seeing in the news and how you guys feel about it.
Man, I gotta loosen up for this one, boy. Let me tell you, man. Look, now that I'm of the age, and I've spoken about this before, but now that I'm of the age where I want to start a family, I want to move to another state and have children and raise them there.
Yeah.
Largely because of the culture in Miami. And the culture in Miami is largely what it is in part because of people like Luke. Okay. This is not the first woman that has come out and said that he groomed them or whatever the case may be with what he did, and that it was all kind of inappropriate shit going on. See, understand a few things about Luke, and I'm not saying that Luke is necessarily guilty or whatever the case may be, just his whole vibe and how he gets down is problematic for me. But what I do know is that the sister, the young lady, Gloria Velez, I think that's her name. Yeah. When she was rolling with him, that's also Aaron Hall's baby mother. You dig? And when she was rolling with him, she was 16 years old at the time that Aaron Hall met her. And this is confirmed on, strangely enough, his interview with DJ Vlad, Aaron Hall. You did. And Luke did a subsequent interview taking credit. Yeah, Luke did a subsequent interview taking credit for introducing her to Aaron Hall. Well, Aaron Hall met her and knocked her up when she was 16.
That boy had a brain dead moment for real.
Yes, but she was working for you, pussy popping, whatever the case may be, when she was 16. Now, that's not rape. That's not sexual assault, but that is inappropriate for a minor to be doing when they're 16. And, you know, if you follow the video trail, he's admitting to, okay, I introduced her to this, to this lifestyle. She was working for me when she was that age. It's unfortunate, it's unfortunate, and it is something that we have to rein in and control. I know there's a whole adult industry, where grown people do what grown folks do. And I'm not mad at them for being grown folks, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But it is, perversion is a part of our culture, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? And a part of our culture that just doesn't really need to be there. It doesn't benefit anybody. You know what I'm saying? But when you had another meme there talking about, Cardi B and, the other chick, they make almost $100 million in OnlyFans because you got all these simps out here offering their check up, so they can, see a few shots. And it's like, bruh, this is why we can't focus on getting anything serious done, because we're preoccupied with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Luke, to my knowledge, hasn't broken any laws, but what he does is a distraction, from people like us who are about Black empowerment. You understand what I'm saying? And, there have been some stories. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to loop him in, with the Diddy's and the R. Kelly's, whatever it may be. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Because there have been stories, but nobody has come out and really, tried to put him in that conversation, quite frankly, I believe, because the check ain't big enough. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the problem that I have with individuals like Cassie and what she did. I'm not doubting that, Diddy may or may not, who knows? You understand? Like you said, we don't know, we weren't there. But I'm not doubting that she didn't get abused, that she wasn't abused. I'm not saying that she's necessarily lying. But a lot of shit that she say just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I have a problem, like you said. And, for the people who are the real, victims out here, when you come out and you like, I'm ready to tell my story. And, he abused me and he did this and he did that. And we got to look out for the women's, that's what they always say. 24 hours later, you're like, okay, check clear, nothing to see here. Bitch, you ain't helping. You ain't helping nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's some fuck shit right there. Because at the end of the day, you was talking all this justice. We gotta protect the women. I'm ready to tell my story. Da 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 da. And basically, you can be bought off. And basically, that just shows everybody it was just a money grab from jump. So now we're looking at everybody else funny style because 100 other lawsuits came in. You dig? Everybody else is trying to get a check like you did. Or that's how it seems. Again, that ain't helping nobody. I'm all for people who have been harmed and abused getting their justice. But when your approach is that type of bullshit, you're not helping the situation at all. You're making it worse, because if that's the case, then he still won. If he really did all that shit to you, you so distraught, you so hurt, you so broken up that a nigga cut a check and you forget about it all. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, let's make sense when we talk, is what I'm saying. And other people, like, that's why they, that's why the name of the movement was Me Too. Because, oh, yeah, that happened to you. Well, me too, me too, me too. Unfortunately, most of it refers back to when there's a check available from somebody, and or if there is a Black male specifically that is being attacked. You understand what I'm saying? Most sexual predators overwhelmingly are white. That is a fact. However, the face of sexual predators and molestation or whatever the case may be is who? R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, et cetera, and they look like they're trying to set Puffy up right now to frame him. Now, that's not to say that maybe some of that stuff isn't true, but I have a problem when all of a sudden one day out of the clear blue sky, you're like, oh yeah, my bad, I forgot I was raped too. You know what I'm saying? I was abused too. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I just remembered. It makes you come off as unreal. You know, it makes you come off as phony. You know what I'm saying? It makes you seem phony. And if you're really trying to get justice for people who are abused, that ain't the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? It may get you a check. It may get these other, 3-4 women a check or whatever the case may be, but it's not going to actually produce justice to stop this person who is allegedly harming all these people.
Correct.
If people are being hurt, don't you want them to get justice?
Yeah.
What the fuck we doing there? That's all I want to know. That's what I'm saying. Like, because this ain't it right here. This is just a big ass money grab from where I sit.
Indeed.
And people are going to start to not take it seriously because I know I got a last name. All of this shit ain't true. About all the people that they put. I mean, even the one that they talk about with Jamie Foxx. This shit was in the open. It wasn't in no hotel room. They tried that shit with Michael Irvin a few months back. He was just talking to a chick in a hotel lobby. And you turn around, this bitch filed a lawsuit, talk about he, tried to feel her up or something.
Yeah, did he flip? I think he sued the girl for $100 million. Did he flip?
He flipped.
He did, as he should.
As he should.
More
men need to start doing that. And we need to go hard. You know what I'm saying? Because
dudes need to start putting a tax on this.
It's getting ridiculous.
For real.
It's getting ridiculous. But yeah,
they specifically went after him because he had an issue before with a sexual assault. I think that might have actually been settled, or that I don't know what the outcome was, but I think basically where he actually had to end him coughing up a bag, whatever, behind it, whatever. He wasn't convicted, but he did lose some opportunities back in the day. So someone else figured, well, he got it. So let me see if I can try and hit the jackpot as well. But this time, she got hit with that Uno reverse card. Like, not today. Now you got to come off the bag. So
we have to be able to take sexual assault and abuse claims seriously. You know what I'm saying? And there has to be some type of punishment mechanism, to punish those who try to ensnare people and extort them, basically, when they don't have any real claims. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
So what happened was Michael Irvin refiled a $100 million lawsuit against Marriott and 4 employees on Tuesday. Irvin denies the hotel chain's claims that he made sexual comments to a woman in a video, and he won that lawsuit.
Right. He won. And
it.
That's the thing, even if someone did make quote unquote sexual comments to you, that entitles you to exactly what?
And what I wanted to add on to that was that, what was real funny, Style? They didn't disclaim how much he won. And I find it funny because when a woman wins, they disclaim how much a woman won.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how shady stuff is going on.
Very interesting.
This is my perspective on it, and I have consistently stood on business where this is concerned nonstop. I haven't budged. I haven't wavered on this not once. I have the same comments that I've always had. It's only gotten larger with all this stuff going on. And bear in mind that when I speak as someone who knows sexual assault survivors.
Right.
I know people who have been legitimately the victims of sexual assault, male and female. I know people who have been lied on about sexual assault, and not any sort of, well, I'm speculating, I'm talking about the person that accused them came out later on and admitted that they only did it because they were upset and they basically were using it to get revenge. I know people who have been the victims of a false claim and how that messed up their life and their families' lives. So I've seen this from multiple angles.
Right.
Okay. I am sympathetic and I am 100% compassionate to those who have been the victims of sexual assault. It's a terrible thing to happen to anybody, male or female. It's a violation of your body. It's a violation of you as a person. It's the greatest violation I can think of, where basically someone isn't infringing on your property or your home, whatever, but they're infringing on your body.
Yeah.
They're basically forcing you, whether they're doing it with the force of physical harm, they have a weapon or something to you, or they're intimidating you, or they're making you make a decision between, your livelihood, your ability to feed yourself or your family, and go with this. It's a terrible thing to happen to anybody. Specifically because women are primarily the ones who tend to worry about this as much. Men, well, as children, it's a different story, but as men, that's not typically something that we have to worry about. If we're walking home on a dark night by ourselves, whenever we go down an alley, we might worry about getting jumped, getting robbed, getting arrested or something because we're in the wrong place, wrong time. We have those kind of things to worry about. I'm pretty sure most men have never, and I'm not trying to be funny about it, but most men have never walked down an alleyway and wondered, Jesus Christ, I wonder if I might get raped tonight. Out of all the concerns, we've never had that. Women are the only ones really that have that kind of consideration to worry about. Pretty much. In that way, I will let women go ahead and corner the market on that where that's concerned. Because of this, sexual assault should be a holy, sacred, divine almost act against women, not in a positive way, but in terms of how it's considered, how it's viewed, looked upon. This should be, you have to be pure of heart to get up in here. You understand what I'm saying? That should be the one thing where when you make light of something, where you're joking or where you play with something, you use something loosely, you don't go there as a woman. Right. Any woman who lies about being a victim of sexual assault for whatever the reason may be, that woman should be looked on by other women as a traitor. How dare we have women who are being sexually assaulted by relatives, neighbors, bosses, sex trafficking is going on, people are getting kidnapped, be forced into prostitution, all kind of crazy things. How dare you go ahead and know that this is an issue that isn't being taken serious enough? If we're being honest, it's not. There's not enough justice coming behind this. And you out here lying about this to come up because you want to settle a grudge, you want to get revenge, you want to get a check. Come on now. Yeah. Every woman in a 25-mile radius should be lining up to stomp the hell out of a woman for doing that nonsense. That's supposed to be off limits. And unfortunately, that has proven to be a guaranteed vehicle for abuse because there's no regulation by other women. There's no regulation, period. We literally know of cases, not speculation again. We're talking about this has been documented. We know of cases where women have been exposed as lying. There's been video footage showing that what was said isn't true. There's been eyewitness testimony saying that this isn't true. The math is not math. And we have had men who have been murdered, killed behind false allegations. Men who've had years of their lives, opportunities, robbed from them because of this nonsense. Right. And these women who have committed this crime against this person is able to go on with their lives like nothing has happened. Maybe they're going to get some chatter for a few months, maybe a year or two, but after it all fades in the background, they're able to live their lives. They don't get terminated from their jobs. Nothing. Their spouse probably isn't going to leave them if they're married or what have you. Family doesn't alienate them. Nothing. If I were to kidnap a person right now and imprison them for 4, 5, 6 years and they got out, I'm doing football. I'm doing basketball numbers. I'm going away. Yeah. I've imprisoned somebody. I falsely imprisoned somebody. That's a felony charge. Kidnapping. Real talk. And you can go and open your mouth and lie and get someone caught up and basically get them kidnapped. And there's no. There needs to be a backlash. That is not right. And even if
Yeah.
it's not being done by the criminal justice system, it should at least be women who can sympathize and empathize with this, that is, he's holding a sort of social punishment for these people who are lying. I remember distinctly, I mean, just recently, it wasn't a sexual assault case, but just recently, I can't remember the girl's name, who lied about being kidnapped. How about she thought baby inside the road, all kind of nonsense. The nurse. What's it? Start with a C.
Carly Russell.
Carly Russell. There you go. Chick had the whole country talking about where is she? You know, black women. And a lot of times the response isn't right, but we got it right for her.
Yeah.
There was the mobilization. There was the action. People out in the streets looking for her. It was getting national news coverage. All the stuff that we say never happens when we go missing, when we're the victims.
Yeah.
It was in place.
Right.
And there were some people saying, you know, this is a little funny, but, you know, we're going to go with this because, you know, we want to take it seriously. Sure enough, she wasn't missing. Hold up somewhere. She lied because she wanted to get back at the dude.
And people never
Nothing
learn.
happened to her.
People never learn shit from stuff like that. That's the problem.
So
really quick before I let you go on, the talk about that was that I did hear the right narrative for a little bit going on after that, where they're saying it's disgusting that she did what she did because there's so many black boys, black girls, black men, black women who are genuinely missing. They never get nearly that amount of coverage. And this is what she's doing, playing games.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't a little girl. This isn't a teenager. This is a grown woman. She out here, and she has a whole career and everything going on, doing this kind of nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah. I just
something needs to be done about this because it hurts people who are generally victims and it damages other people too. This is not a victimless crime.
Correct.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to highlight, Don. There is no, is a fawn day. There is nobody on here convicting the alleged victims. You see, I think what the problem is when we talked about earlier, we wanted to have a dialogue, a very intellectual dialogue, also an understanding dialogue, to where we can talk about situations without being triggered. I made this disclaimer before we started the show. If you came in late, sorry you missed it, but we already made the disclaimer that we're not here to figure out who's telling the truth and who's telling the lie with the allegations. We put everything that has been posted or been said or been stated all on the front line, and we just sat back and gave everybody the information to show you what was going on and how it was going about. How it was going about was kind of funny style about all of these claims coming in because we showed that they had a report that it was at the deadline. The deadline was on the 23rd, right? Let me find the deadline for you. I think it's up here somewhere. I can't remember. I remember I put it up there, but it was a deadline that they had to meet by November as such, right? I think this is it. Yes. Okay. So advocates push for more permanent legal change after 1 year window closes for new suit on the New York's Adult Survivors Act. But I think the other one had the deadline on it. I can't find the one with the deadline. We showed it earlier, but there's one with the deadline on it. So there's nothing here that we're talking about condemning the victims. We're saying that if they are victims, then, they will get the justice that they need with a law like this. The problem is that, like we said, we have to separate the agenda versus the justice. We don't want agendas attached to things like this, because if you attach the agendas to a law like this, then it hurts the victims, the real victims. It hurts them. So this is why we're having a conversation to say, listen, we're separating so we can get down to getting the victims justice that they deserve. Nobody's condemning them. So for you to sit back and say that, I think that was very what's the word I should use, fellas? Because I don't want to say insensitive or misconstrued narrative that
I'll
you're. Yeah.
I'll give her some great. I don't know if it's being politically correct. I don't know if you want to go along with it. I'll give her some, or well, I'm saying her. I'm assuming it's a her. I'm sorry, I don't know who the person is. I'm
Mhm.
going to assume that the person is. Well, I'll just say her. Just to makes it a little easier. So if you're not, I apologize. Forgive me.
Mhm.
I'm going to give him grace based on wording because for me, words matter. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
semantic, sometimes it isn't one. But she did say that it appears. She didn't go ahead and directly accuse and say you all are doing this. She said it appears. So I appreciate that wording because it does. It is an open statement. It does give an opportunity to go ahead and say your piece. So I appreciate her for saying it appears, and even if that's just a formality.
Yeah.
So sorry that it might come off, especially if you're just jumping into this, it might seem that way
But,
because we did all the
but
the bureaucratic tape beforehand.
exactly.
Um,
So here's the thing about the wording with there is this, and this is what a lot of women always have an issue with how things are being stated, right? And it's okay for them to lash back at the way they want to lash back. But just like they want the wording a certain way for them, there's also a certain way you word it towards us. Because she could have easily came in, and like I said, I don't know what your pronouns are, but
I know where you're going with it.
you could have easily came in and said, "Hey, I'm not understanding the direction of you guys. What are you guys direction of going about this is? Are you guys um, convicting these alleged victims before everything is, you see what I'm saying? There's a way to word it in a way of asking versus saying,
True.
oh, assuming. I'm assuming that you guys, or I take it as you guys are, that you already, there's words that already push things in a negative direction. So just like she is in a way saying what is going
Fair.
on, there's a way you word it that way as well. You feel me? So like I say, I have no harsh feelings to anybody that wants to sit back and state what they want to state, but just don't push out a narrative to make other people feel a certain way. And that's why I highlighted it, because I'm not trying to sit back and anybody who comments on here, we highlight. It's not, we're not here. We're open for discussion. We're here for this. You know what I'm saying? And then I know you said it appears, but still appears still points it at a direction. You know what I'm saying? It's not a where you asking. You're like, hey, what is the direction you're going? You're saying it appears that you guys are allegedly. You see what I'm saying? You got to be very careful about the way that you're pushing things
Well,
based on how you're doing. You see what I'm saying?
absolutely. And unfortunately, this happens with a lot of people because I asked in the chat, okay, well, what was it that was said?
Mhm.
I have my opinion just like you have yours. You're not answering the question. So you don't want any solutions. You don't want to talk about solutions. You don't want
Exactly.
to have a
It's a
productive
trigger.
conversation. You're just triggered and you want to shake your fist to the air, whatever the case may be. That's your business. We don't do that here. We want
Exactly.
to discuss solutions. If you have a problem with what we said, say what it is that you have a problem with, and we can address it. But if you just want to babble, that's not anything that we're going to be bothered with. And you have a good evening.
You have to be careful. I have a legal background.
We're
Don't
challenging
challenge.
you right now. So say what it
Okay.
is that you have an issue with. We are challenging you right now. I don't need to be careful about anything. Say what you have to say.
You call women a bird, a bitch, and a bird.
Okay.
Well,
So
but see, this is what I'm saying. Like, you have people out here that have space that don't want to engage in corrective dialogue. They're just here. I don't know if she has a feminist agenda. I don't even know the pronouns of what the person is.
Okay.
But I don't know what their agenda is. Do you have a feminist-based agenda? Are you
It-
out here trying to fight for all women hear me roar versus saying, you know what? These guys are out here trying to make sure that the real victims are protected away from the agenda. It's no
And
different than when we talked about women that were being thrown under the bus by transgender women, were pushed out of the way out of transgender women. women, real women, that were feel like they weren't meant to be women because they were called bleeders by men who now profess or claim that they're women now. It's not right for you to do that to women. They earn their natural right to be protected. They have their gift of what they're here to do. And you're not going to do that. So we protect women like that.
We do actually.
With that. You know what I'm saying?
Let me speak to this person in particular, because again, you know, this is actually what we're talking about. You know, when we have someone who you're so fake concerned with the fact that I called this woman a bitch, that you're not even listening to the context of what is being discussed. This woman falsely accused a black man who did absolutely nothing of sexually harassing her and tried to get a bag out of him. Yeah, that's a bitch. And if you have a problem with me calling someone like that a bitch, then this is not the show for you. We deal with real here. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a bitch. It's a very unfortunate thing, but we don't call women in general bitches. You understand what I'm saying? But
which is what's important.
Anybody who is going to openly attack a black man that is a public figure, by the way, and you know, accuse him of, you know, saying something disrespectful to her in a sexual manner, it didn't even occur. That's much more of a problem than someone being called a bitch. And last I checked, this is another thing with a lot of these, you know, modern day feminists that want to get fake upset because someone called someone a bitch or whatever the case may be. Do you write to Nicki Minaj's record label or Cardi B's record label or any of these female artists' record labels? Because every other word on this, when they're talking about women and themselves, is bitch, 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 bitch. Okay? Don't come in here with that fake bullshit. You understand? And you can come on if you like. We'll have you on. You understand? But at the end of the day, we're not going to sit up here and mince words and walk on eggshells to protect the fragile ego of someone like that. A person who comes on here with common sense and good faith knows that we're not talking about all women. These hoes this, these bitches that. We don't speak that way. But women who act like that, who conduct themselves in such a manner, yeah, that's what that is. And, you know, another thing, just real quick before we get back to our dialogue, you know, about this fake outrage. Whenever someone calls a man out of his name, I don't ever hear a peep from you women who are so fake offended and want to clutch your pearls when someone calls a woman a bitch.
Exactly. Now,
nigga this, just to add on that, Ashy over here, Bummy over there.
Oh my
That's
God.
fine. Even they compound it. He's a bitch nigga in some cases.
A bitch nigga. You never
compound word.
So just to add on to that, right? I want to add on to what Major just said.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen a rally against Sexy Red? Oh, no, not Sexy Red. Glorilla. Have you seen any rally against it or picket signs from women saying, why are you using fuck nigga free? And if I'm not mistaken, fuck nigga free was one of the #1 songs for a long time.
That became an album. Matter of fact,
they didn't hear women. I didn't hear
play
women
that at sporting events.
I didn't hear women going around picketing that sign.
Right. Because there's nothing wrong when you insult a man. It's perfectly fine.
I'm not gonna get
no, sister. We're not angry over opinions.
Yeah, we're not even gonna get into that because right now it's just basically trolling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because if you're not saying anything substantial, it's just trolling. So we're definitely gonna go into our next segment.
Topic.
Definitely going to go into our next segment right now. And you can join in too, Fawn. We're not knocking you from getting into our next segment. So we got hell yeah, hell nah, right?
Go.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
All right. So hell nah, hell yeah, hell nah. Let's load it up. All right. Let's get it in real quick, fellas. All right. So first up is Zoe Saldana.
Hell no.
No?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Okay.
Hell.
All right,
Bobby.
Aries.
Bobby.
Bobby said.
Oh no, I said no. Mm-mm.
Okay. Aries Spears.
Hell no. Hell no. No.
Mm.
No.
Oh no,
Nah.
no, no, no.
Nah.
Nah.
Ever since that thing with the kids? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary Spears.
Yeah.
Ain't no coming back from that.
Nah. No.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Yeah, I fuck with
Hell
Dwayne.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Salute to Dwayne.
Who doesn't love The Rock?
Jason Momoa. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Hell yeah.
Aquaman, that new joint look like it's gonna be hard too.
Oh, it's a new one coming out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
next month.
Oh, I got it.
The second Aquaman joint. That should be decent.
Oh, okay. I gotta check that out. All right, Jim Jones. Nah.
Hell no.
I'm not
Hell
a Jim
no.
Jones fan.
Yeah, especially-
Guillermo's a clown.
He so called himself threatening D1 lately. Come on, bro.
I
appreciate that.
This is Bobby's best friend right here, Michael Rappaport.
Ah!
You know, I forgot to bring some caps to toss at you. I'll have them on deck next time. Hell
I
no.
need Rolex.
Mr. Yo.
I need Rolex to listen to this guy.
No, gosh.
Ugh.
I've been off that dude a long time ago. Andrew Tate. No.
Andrew Tate. Nah,
No.
I don't see the big deal. Everybody's like, he's the second coming, and I'm like, hell no. I say hell no.
He said some things that make sense, some things that are just like for shock jock purposes. But overall, I haven't heard him say anything fresh or novel that I haven't heard better somewhere else. Most cases before him. He's just a face that happens to be, on the billboard. The source where we get it from, it's more for the underground. So
correct. Dr. Claude Anderson. Fuck yeah.
Oh hell yeah. Dr. Claude Anderson is the truth. The way and the light. You did.
To quote the great Stone Cold Stephen Austin, oh hell yeah.
Real talk.
Definitely want to have him on the show, man. I'm hoping we could get him next year. That would be an honor. That would be super lit. Rock.
Oh man.
Hell yeah.
Bobby Drake.
Hell
yeah. Listen, anybody who's listening right now, you want to hear a dope MC who's really positive, a dope femc, female rapper that's ill, check out Ciroc. SA-ROC. I'm gonna just put it right there. You check her out and
she lit.
Oh, she lit. She's so lit.
That sister is
chokers.
Yeah, I like chokers on women. I think chokers are.
Talking about the little necklace thing.
Yeah, man, he's an EMO, dude. My name is Major. Fuck yeah, man. I like that shit.
Not chokers on me. I sound like chokers on women. I don't wear no damn choker. I love chokers on women. I think chokers are sexy on women.
I gotta be honest. I would have to say I gotta admit, liking chokers on women is probably my biggest toxic trait. That's
that shit is fly.
I hate to admit it, but I'm paying attention. Like, oh hey, it's you over there.
Definitely dope chokers on.
Yeah, it's fly as hell.
Big Sean.
Hell yeah.
Boy. Hell yeah.
You're a big fan of him.
Shout out to Big Sean. Definitely one of the best active artists from the Midwest right now, doing his thing. I know he's kind of taking his foot off the gas a bit because he's in the fatherhood now. He's really embracing that. Him and
that's
and everything doing their thing. But I think there's a couple tracks he released like the last year or so. So he's still trying to keep his fingers out there. But I know when he comes back, I think he's going to pick up where he left off, and he's definitely going to be doing his thing right now. So big ups to that.
Definitely. Next up is Mariah Carey. Oh hell no.
You like Mariah Carey?
No man, I'm
tired. I know why you don't like it. Christmas Crema that beat the Mariah out of his Carey. That's what that is.
I'm done with the Christmas specials and Christmas Carol. She old. It's old.
But Anthony, all she wants for Christmas is you. What's so wrong with that, bro?
Oh gosh, that's Home Alone stuff. I'll leave it there.
I give her a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You like her, Major?
I give her a hell yeah, definitely. I really like
As
Mariah Carey.
as a vocalist, for sure, music is dope, and I think even just being able to be associated like that with a major holiday, even if it's annoying, that's an accomplishment.
She's a beast.
So
yeah,
that's true. Whoopi Goldberg. No.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
No.
She's let.
I wouldn't say hell nah, but just nah. Just nah.
T.I. Yeah, I fucks with T.I.
King! That's my guy, man.
Yeah, I hope they got, because there's I don't know if you put it up there because of that, but they actually had Israel. I think that's fresh. I think that just happened today, but what you call it, King went live or something. There's some argument going on at the Falcons. Yeah, what's today? They're going on the Falcons game, whatever. There's an altercation. King apparently started smelling himself a little bit, and he and his pop got into it. From what I heard, it was just like he put King in like a headlock, whatever. But there's a whole bunch of shit talk in the background, whatever. King got a lot of things that he's dealing with. So hopefully they are able to figure out something, because I'm worried about the brother. I worry about the young brother. I think he's definitely been caught. I think he's probably spoiled a good bit, and as such, he's really kind of, he wants what typical imposter syndrome. He's trying to live up to what he thinks his father's identity is or was or what have you. He's trying to actually be a street dude. He ain't built like that. I all I can say is I definitely, and I can't speak too deep because it's not like I'm in the house to know how things have gone, but every time there's an issue that stems from him, I definitely get that old saying that pops in my head, that the old heads used to say, if you raise your children, you get to spoil your grandchildren. But if you spoil your children, you have to end up raising your grandchildren. And really think that the whole concept of spoiling children, period, is something that we need to do away with.
Yes.
You can love your children, nurture your children, you can give them good things, but the idea of spoiling them, even if it doesn't mean that, just why would you want to spoil them? And then when they get entitlement, when they get to the point where they don't take accountability for themselves, then you want to go whoop them, you want to punish them. You're the one that need to get whooped. You made this monster, and now you punishing the monster for behaving according to the standards that you set. You leave that child alone. You the one that need to get your ass whooped. Leave that baby alone.
That's true. I agree with that. Andre 3000. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was a little disappointed with the album, not gonna lie. Because I was cool with it. I was cool with it being a flute album. I have no issues with that. I listen to everything. But when I heard he's dropping a flute album, I'm thinking more it's like something like a classical flute type thing, or maybe like even a jazz flute, whatever, maybe even a blues flute, something like that. I wasn't expecting a soundscape album with a flute featured in the background.
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with that, because I mean I vibe that music. I sleep to brown noise and stuff, whatever. So I'm cool with that kind of music, whatever. And like I told you, I had the whole thing on my phone. I was bumping in the sauna. That was a great 25 minutes. Very refreshing, very invigorating. So it was cool. But I was just a little disappointed I didn't get that kind of flute. I still like what I got, but I was hoping it was going to be something. I was thinking it was going to be something else.
Definitely. Last but not least, Slim Thug.
Oh man. Yo, all day. Slim Thug, that's my guy.
Throw it up.
Hey, this guy be standing up. This guy be standing up for the hood, man. Like, real talk, I rock with Slim Thug.
For
Slim Thug.
It's a lot of solid dudes out there in that Houston area, man. Shout out Derek Lewis. Shout out my boy Kevin Trailblazer out there. Shout out all the Houston got some pretty solid brothers out there, man. I really rock Houston. Next time I go to Texas, I'm about to stop by Houston and get comfy in the city a bit.
Our brother Amun, the arms instructor, he's out there in Houston. That's a solid ass brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't know what's in the water of the cornbread out there in Houston, in Texas, in Houston, but some really thorough, solid brothers that's about business out there. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Check your brothers on that Vlad bullshit. Shout out to him for that.
All right, so that concludes our segment for today. I want to show a video real quick I do want to show a couple of things before I get into my crown check real quick. Fellas out there, I know there's a lot of fellas out there that tell women, oh, I want women to be silent. I want to be the man and listen to me and follow my leadership and things like that. That's all good and dandy to a certain extent, because you want your woman to be submissive to you to a certain extent. But you never want to cut off your woman's thoughts, creativity, and input, because a lot of times when you do that, you'll put yourself in big danger. You always want to get the second insight from your woman. Remember the whole concept I gave you with the pilot and co-pilot. Your co-pilot is going to see things that you can't see as a pilot. So always make sure that you're listening to your woman. Find out what's on her mind. Never give her the chance to shut down to where she can't talk to you in any form of fashion or can't give you any advice. And I want to show you guys an illustration that best shows you that, right? And this illustration will best show you why it's important to listen to your woman. So he's cutting the tree, and he says, before you start, darling, if I need your advice, I'll ask for it. So as you can see,
and if she's a wise and intelligent woman, she's going to have a whole list of the nearest urgent cares and hospitals right there waiting for him. So as soon as he says, honey, I need some help, she can say, where would you like to go, dear?
So make sure, fellas, that you are listening to your woman, because it can save your life. Who knows if he's able to recover from that fall? He might break a hip, and she'd have to take care of him for the rest of her life. So she's helping you in the long run. All right. I do want to show this video. Before I show the video, I want to show you guys who the video is about and what it's about. So a 25-year-old invests $3.2 million for his unborn kids, says they'll be worth $160 million when they turn 21. So this video I'm about to show you guys is for you guys, men out there. You know, there's this narrative that we run away from our children and we don't handle our responsibilities. On anomaly situations, on micro situations, yes, there are a lot of men out here that are running away from their responsibilities on a micro level, anomaly level. We all can know somebody that ain't up to par doing what they need to do for their children. But on a macro level, Black men especially are number one when it comes to handling and taking care of their responsibility inside and outside the household. Meaning that inside the two-part structure, they're taking care of business. And if they separate from their woman, that they're taking care of business outside of their household. So they're ranked number one out of all races of men. And we always hear this narrative like white men treat them better. And actually white men fall at number 4 on the scale. So they're not even up near us, right? And I want to show you guys that why investing in your children is so important. And take the time out and do it. Remember, in order for your children to be successful, you want to make sure that you're giving them all the resources and laying out the groundwork for them so that they don't have to go through such a harsh road that you've been through. You always want to make the previous generation makes the next generation a little bit easier than what they went through. So I think this guy really breaks down the great principles of it. You guys could take heed to it and take some information from it.
I put aside for my unborn babies. Bank account for my unborn babies to stack wealth. The goal is to have $30 million invested for them, and by the time they turn 21, each of my kids will be worth $160 million. I think it is time we normalize Black trust fund babies, and we actively start discussing how we can bridge the wealth gap amongst the Black communities. Not you, but my goal is to make sure that my kids have an unfair advantage in the world that has so many odds stacked against them as a Black person. And that's why I'm using my platform to share information and document my journey. As a 25-year-old, I've spent the last 10 years learning about money and also building wealth. And that's why I started sharing my information on YouTube and here.
All right. So just to, just a note that invest in your children. It'll work out for you guys in the long run and definitely be very productive for your children. And they'll look at you and also remember that their dad, in hindsight, was a phenomenal man that did everything he could to make sure that we had a clear set future for us to build onto and do some great things and continue his legacy. So going on to our next segment tonight is Crown Check. All right, and tonight's Crown Check is this woman here who is Alice H. Parker. All right, so Alice H. Parker was an American inventor known for her patent of the gas furnace. Right, she did phenomenal things when it comes to the furnace. You guys can Google her. I read everything, but guess what? I got a video for y'all about Alice Parker.
1900s relied on burning coal or wood to heat their homes. This method of heating sucked because the heat usually was hottest right in front of the fireplace, which left the rest of the room cold. On December 23, 1919, Alice H. Parker patented the first furnace powered by natural gas that was for homes and offices. Her invention would suck in the cold air and exchange it with hot air. It would then distribute that hot air to the different parts of the home. Her invention was the first to have individually controlled air ducts that would distribute heat throughout the home. Parker played an important role in the development of the central heating.
All right, so she played a role for that. So definitely shout out to the sister doing her thing.
So the whole HVAC industry basically owes itself to a black. I'm trying to. I need you to help me out because you got the details there, and
yes,
please help me make it make sense because the math ain't entirely mathing, and if I'm picking up what the info's putting down, this is insane. What year was she born and what year did she die again?
1895 to 1920.
Yeah, 1895 to
Wait.
1920.
Okay, so my eyes are playing it. So by the year before she passed,
it's insane.
She invented this. Well, before as the patent that went through. So I'd imagine, especially for a black person trying to put through patents, it's a whole shitstorm of red tape and everything. So let's say maybe 5 years. So she put this together probably when she was a teenager.
It's insane. I noticed the same thing, bro. God damn.
I'm like, my eyes, I don't know, maybe this public school education I keep cracking jokes on, maybe it really is that weak. Because I'm like, I know my math skills can't be this bad. I know carry the one.
That's wild. That's wild, bro. And this is why I'll say it again. This is why I'm so hard on the twerkers and the people who embrace thought culture, because black women are powerful, bro. She did that shit by the time she was 25. Probably had to be before because she died when she was 25. So she made this major invention that we're still utilizing today.
Before the whole framework, not even the components. It's not like she made like a fan and now people use fans in different ways and we develop fan system. We're talking about she discovered, she created HVAC.
Lights out. Lights out.
She created the platform.
Lights
we
out.
use this platform. It's not like she created something and people built it up. No. The board game, the Monopoly board, she created that.
That's
you might change what's on the board. You might change the pieces. Maybe going to use a little chess piece instead, or maybe going to switch them and put like a little character figurine. She created the game board.
That's real black girl magic, bro.
We have not been able to innovate in a way, unless you want to talk about solar power and all this stuff. But even that's power. She created the platform that we still use to this very day.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's
woo. Real talk. Yeah, man.
That's wild.
There it is. So
yeah.
And shout out to that sister. That's an amazing check. Amazing crown check.
And here's something I want to add in. In 2022, an investigation by Audrey Henderson of the Energy News Network found that a photo commonly attributed to Parker is actually an unrelated white woman born 5 years after Parker furnace patent was issued. So they weren't even showing this incredible black woman as a black woman. They were making it seem like the inventor was white.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they did.
I just wanted to put that out there.
That's how they do it. That's how they do it.
Ain't nothing changed.
Ain't nothing changed. That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll let you guys wrap up the show. Thank you guys for everybody new. Make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend. We're here. And like I say, Fawn, you're welcome to come back anytime. We don't have no personal beef with you. Don't know what your issue would be with us, but you're more than welcome to come back. If you want to jump on air and discuss something, we definitely have fan moments where we have fan shows and everybody can come up here and say what they want to say during the fan shows. Mm-hmm. So just lay around for that. We're here for it. And I love each and everybody. And thanks for being such a huge supporter. And 2024 will be a huge year for us. Next week, we are going to be starting the whole month of entrepreneurship. So if you know anybody out there that's entrepreneurs and you want to highlight them, manversations2020@gmail.com, manversations2020@gmail.com. Let's get them on. Let's try to get some money in their pockets before the holidays. People are spending. There was a record-breaking $6.9 billion spent during this Black Friday. So a lot of people have been online shopping, even though you're seeing not too many people that were out in the actual stores. People are doing more and more online shopping. So we want to get those dollars for our entrepreneurs. So check that out next week or the whole month. Every Sunday of that month, we're going to, leading up to Christmas, we're going to start highlighting entrepreneurs so they can get a hefty bag for the holidays, and we get good goods in the return in the process as well. All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
You guys close us out.
Real talk, man. Shout out to everybody who chimed in today with their opinions. Again, including the ones that disagreed with us. Sister Fawn was really having a little she was bubbling up a little bit in the comments, and that's okay. But again, with us, if you're bubbling up about something, pinpoint what it is that you're talking about so we can address it and we can have a mature discussion on it. That's all we ask. Or call up, even better, because sometimes what you say, if you type it, it doesn't come across, as it doesn't come across the way that you want it to come across. We want your feedback. We want to hear what you have to say, but there's a way that we have to go about interacting with each other. And let's just deal with each other on a real level. You know what I'm saying? We encourage that. Other brothers who were in the comments that were speaking up today, thank you as well. Shout out to Brother Jay Thomas, new follower that we have, Mr. Ted P. We've seen him here before. And all of the other people who tuned in tonight. I think we really need to start getting people to call up more. Because I think people can probably articulate themselves a little better when they're, speaking live as opposed to in the chat. But, just to answer the, some of the questions that were being asked, no one's convicting anyone of anything. But, when we see something that doesn't look right, we're going to speak on it. And that's just the long and short of it. When we're out here seeking justice, we should be seeking justice. We shouldn't be out here doing money grabs and calling it justice and triggering people that do have actual trauma with whatever our situation is, so that we can gain their support and garner their support, so we can get our bag, and calling that justice. That's bullshit. Then we're never going to co-sign that here. And It's not that we don't welcome differing opinions here, but you will be challenged. You understand? If you're saying something that doesn't really make sense, you will be challenged. And that's what's supposed to happen. When adults are having mature dialogue, they challenge. And you said something about, oh, you have a legal background, so be careful. That doesn't matter. We all come together in good faith to have discussions to move the culture forward. So if you have a legal background, I shouldn't be worried about talking to you. I should be encouraged to talk to you. You might be able to teach me something. But if that's your approach, then we can't learn from each other because we're coming at each other with the daggers out. And that's just not acceptable. That's not how we should be doing things. So hopefully the next time it comes, it's a different way and we're able to dialogue better. But, respect to you, shout out to you, and shout out to everyone else who dialed in today. And shout out to the rest of my guys that we do this wonderful show with every week because we get down. Yeah.
Definitely.
100.
Yeah, well said.
Great show. Definitely a hot button one. Some hot topics, but there's one thing that we don't do here is we don't run from difficult conversations. In fact, we embrace them because the reality is the work gets done in the difficulty. Old saying that's attributed to Thomas Edison is that most people miss out on opportunities because opportunity dresses in overalls and looks like work. When people talk about, well, we need to be doing work or who's doing the work or who's having the important conversations, you're going to find those people in the uncomfortable areas. Anybody can do the easy, lightweight cake stuff. There's a whole murderer's row of people lined up to do that, and they're doing that. And a lot of the times, it's the conversations that get pounded out daily. But when it comes to the difficult conversations, that's where progress gets made at. And so we have to have those. We can't be shy and run away from those things. And when we find ourselves running from those, we have to start asking ourselves some important questions. What are you running from? Why are you running from this? If we understand that we're trying to have a dialogue, we're trying to have a conversation, the goal is to make things better, to come to an understanding, to meet in the middle somewhere, to move forward, then that's a positive, healthy, wholesome environment. That's a good place to be at. You're supposed to be looking for those places where it's a safe space where people can come together and talk and chat and everything. That means that we're going to have some conversations. So if Major says something, if I say something, if Vance says something, and it steps on your toes, you should be able to understand that, well, given there's some level of familiarity there, I understand that what they're saying might be hurtful to me. That's fair. But I understand that the goal wasn't to hurt me. Let's see if we can dig into the pain. Let's get our fingers dirty. Let's roll up our sleeves. Why did this hurt? What did they say that was hurtful? Maybe they said something that's wrong. Let me bring my concern to them. Let's talk this thing out so we can get a better understanding. And maybe they'll walk away with a changed mind. Wow, I didn't realize that when I'm saying this, that's what that does. I'll do better. Or maybe might be an opportunity for you to course correct. Wow, maybe there wasn't anything to be heard about. I understand why that triggered me. There's something for me to work on. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe you might have something to share with us that's going to challenge us, might step on our toes, and we have to check ourselves and say, you know what? This is a gut check. I need to understand this, come to grips. I need to make peace with this so I can move forward and become better off of this. But the bottom line is those moments are where the growth happens. That's when we each become better, each become stronger. If we're afraid to talk about real stuff and say things that might hurt somebody or might offend them or get on their nerves or what have you, we're not going to get better because that's where that's the growth opportunity.
Yep.
If you trust and believe that my goal isn't to be I like being an asshole, but if you trust and believe that the goal isn't for me to be a dick, if I trust and believe that your goal isn't to be a troll, isn't to be a nuisance, we should be able to have these conversations, butt heads, and walk away even tighter because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, when you walk into these conversations, and to be fair, I know a lot of people try and stir the pot for no reason. They just try to get likes and views. They just try to be controversial or edgy just for kicks and giggles.
Right.
That's not what we're doing this for. That's not why we're here. The goal is to make things better. So if you ever hear us on this platform, if you hear any one of us say something, or even if the overall theme appears to be a certain way, ask a question. Put your feelers out. Don't feel as though we're trying to attack you. Let us know, hey, I feel some type of way. That might be something that we need to tap in on. Maybe even hold a whole separate show on because it's important enough. Because if it's touching the people, we're trying to be there with our fingers in it to get to the root of it. That's what our goal is. So if you all aren't here listening to us, then we're just three Negroes just talking to talk. Just twerking our lips. That's all we doing up here. The purpose is to make a difference. And hell, if it's even for one person, talk with us, interact with us. Are we on point? Cool. If we not, no. All right, well, this is an organic environment, but everyone has got to be doing their part. Don't just sit back and tune in and veg out and be entertained. Nah, get in the mix. Roll your sleeves up with us so we can do this work together. Shout out to all the great information that was chopped up tonight. I loved hearing about that sister Alice. What's that? The Alice
Parker.
Parker.
Alice H. Parker.
I'm gonna have to make a mental note about that sister. I'm just completely blown away by her expertise or mastery. I love that. Big ups to everybody, all the followers, the people that was tuning in with us. Didn't see some of our regulars, but we had some new blood in there. Love it. Shout out Jay, shout out Cash, shout out everybody else, shout out Fawn. We catch y'all next week, same time, same place. Much love.
Definitely.
Salute, Jay. I see you, brother.
You know, it's like you were saying about the whole trolling thing. You know, certain people do have accounts that aren't attached to any pictures or anything like that. So I did a couple of research on that and found out that profile has no pictures attached to it. So we'll leave it at that. If that's your game and your aim, hey, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you're ready to come on stage and talk about what it is, we don't shy away from it.
And one more thing, and let me just interject. One more thing. The thing that really, I guess, took the discussion left when this individual was asked, okay, well, what is it specifically that you have a problem with? Well, I have my opinion just like you have yours. That's not having a good faith, adult, mature conversation. Let's work on that. Somebody asks you, what is it that bothers you? Let's give an answer and let's discuss the issue. Go ahead.
And then on top of that, they responded with, watch yourself because I have leaked. Where did the threats come from? Nobody threatened you, but you came back with a threat because we were asking sensible and logical questions, and you felt threatened, and now you're talking about, oh, I'm in law. I know. So, listen, I get it. Not running from it. And as much as you have law and resources, trust me, I have a ton of lawyers and resources. So instead of it trying to get to that level, find out and say, you know, what's so hard for you to say, my bad, I didn't want to come off like that. I apologize. I was just asking the question. It would have been deaded right then and there. But the minute you just pounced on everything with it, just lets us know exactly your intent and your motive. Hey, next week is next week. We got plenty of great entrepreneurs coming. I'm excited, dog. Next week, y'all boys in for a treat with my homegirl. My homegirl, man, she does some dope shit, yo. So she's gonna be on here. That's what I was when y'all see me texting online. I was texting in the inbox because she just hit me up to say that, hey, I'm down for it, man. I'm gonna be on there next week with you. I said, all right, cool. So I was excited about that acknowledgement. So definitely tell a friend to tell a friend. We're up out of here. Appreciate everybody. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe. All right.
All right.
Peace.
Yep.
On the album, we do things like songs that are little, what we call sexy. You can see from the title, it's more of a love album.